Aries Tarot and your sign. I'm going to be starting here with Aries, and it's for a very good reason. Aries is a cardinal sign, and if you've watched the channel, you've heard me mention cardinal signs, fixed signs, and mutable signs. Cardinal signs are signs that mark the beginning of each season. So those would be Aries, of course. Here it's the first day of spring. Your next would be Cancer, the first day of summer. Libra is the first day of fall, and then Capricorn is the first day of winter. Those will all be cardinal signs, and as such, their court card is going to be a queen, depending on their suit. All right, so all cardinal signs are going to have a queen, and because this is fire signs, the court card for Aries is the Queen of Wands. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? And so each sign has also two major arcana that are related to their sign, and it's for very specific reasons. So with Aries here, the first major arcana that is for this card is the Emperor. The Emperor is related to Mars, which is the ruling planet of Aries, and also the ruling planet of the Tower card. And there are very specific reasons why this card is for Aries. The reason why tarot uses the Emperor card to describe or be the card for Aries is because the personality of the Emperor embodies the Aries personality of being fearless, confident, courageous, and completely in control. If you look at this card here, he is wearing his suit of armor underneath this cloak here, and this means he is ready in an instant. That is part of his characteristics. We see the ram's head here for Aries. And more characteristics of this leadership card. Aries is pretty much the beginning of all the other zodiac. So this is the beginning. This is the leader pretty much of everything else. That's how we want to say it. This is someone who's very forceful, blunt, and direct, and like I said, a leader. And it's important to note that this is the kind of leader that leads from the head and definitely not the heart. Aries is also in the first house of self in the zodiac in the houses. So this is all about appearances and that initial first impression and physicality of someone. This is a fiery, passionate card. So this is someone who's very bold, very brash, very self-confident, and will not back down from a situation. In respect to the other cards of the tarot, you may know that the Empress is the counterpart to the Emperor, and that's for mythological reasons because this is the card of Mars, and Mars and Venus are together in mythology. So the Empress card, which is Taurus, is Venus. So that's why the Empress and the Emperor are considered divine counterparts in the tarot. Now, because this card is representative of Mars, there is the potential for aggression here, self-defense, action, all those things. And that goes into the Tower card here, which is also a card of Mars. This can be a card of destruction, of something happening very quickly and unexpectedly, because that impulsive, bold energy is in this card right here, which actually, instead of being in the embodiment of a person, this is all that kind of energy here in the embodiment of something happening around you in your environment, possibly spiritually, all those things, right? It's all in this card right here, for good or for ill. Now let's talk about the Queen of Wands. All right, now let's take a look at our gorgeous and sultry Queen of Wands, Cardinal Fire, Aries energy. And so for the queens in the tarot, they are all water and with the element of the suit that they are with. So this is water and fire. If you think about that, if you put water and fire together, what do you get? You get steam. You get the steam energy. This is passionate. This is seductive, simmering, and a very strong leadership energy with this card. All queens are rulers, but they're more of a safeguarding, nurturing type leadership of their realm, not like the kings or the emperor energy we see here. But they are all very wise. Now, queens do have a tendency to think about the past, to look at the past, but in a transformative way because we have that water element in them. Now, the Queen of Wands here, she embodies all of the fire and passion of her suit of wands. This is someone with energy to burn, very mesmerizing, kind of like a glowing campfire type energy here. And this is also very spontaneous energy. It's very hard to contain. And believe me, as a Sagittarius that is rampant in my chart, I know the feeling. And I used to think that this was a card of Sagittarius a long time ago, but no, that is the Knight of Wands because knights are mutable, and so is Sagittarius. But let's get back to Aries. So, this also, along with the Emperor here, this is a card of leadership. And that's because Aries is a sign of leadership, someone who's active, bold, daring, very energetic. All those qualities we see in the wands because it's a fire sign. All right, so she also has a warrior spirit. She's very courageous and competitive and driven and direct. And because of this, it's almost a masculine energy that the Aries puts off. All of the signs have a gender, believe it or not, and Aries is a male gender for that sign. It just is. That's kind of how it is. But anyway, but this is someone who's very direct, aggressive, and really asserts themselves with energetic bursts of energy. So if you've ever come across an Aries, I think you know what I mean. This is going to resonate with you, or if you are an Aries, if you're just trying to learn more about the tarot, there we go. Now, another thing I want to mention about this card is we see the black kitty here. Now, black cats way back in the day were, kind of bad luck or bad omens, that sort of thing. But the attitude, if you can see her face here, she really doesn't care. If she wants a black cat, she's going to have a black cat. She's going to do things her way. The Queen of Wands does not give a rip what anybody else thinks, right? That's just her attitude. You can kind of see the way she's kind of slumped down in her chair and that smirk on her face. This is my kingdom, my rule, and my way. And I love that energy. It's big boss energy, definitely. But we can see that there. And either one of these two characters can bring about a tower moment like that. Now, let's get into the lesser cards. We have our numbered cards, and the numbered cards represent more of our day to day activities. Court cards can represent people. These universal cards represent something that's a universal action, right? And so when we look at our number cards, the twos, threes, and fours are always going to go with a cardinal sign, all right? Then the fives, sixes, and sevens are fixed energy. That is the signs that's in the middle of the season. And then the mutable cards are always going to be 8, 9, and 10. So Sagittarius is 8, 9, and 10 of wands. So we'll get to the other ones, but that's just how it is. If you see a 2, 3, or 4 of pentacles, it's Capricorn. If you see a 2, 3, or 4 of air, that's Libra. If you see a 2, 3, or 4 of cups, it's Cancer, because those are all cardinal signs. Okay, so let's get into looking at each one of these individually now. Let's start with the Two of Wands. This is a card of Mars in Aries. So this is pretty much a power card. And what we see here is a young emperor, and he's standing kind of at the bottom of this tower here. He's holding the world in his hands, and this emperor knows that it's within his power, in his mind, to control his destiny. And so that's what we're seeing here is this bold, fierce, resolute, and shameless energy of a young emperor. So this card is really representing the beginning of a journey. It hasn't really started just yet. This is my card of there are two paths ahead, having to leave the comfort and stability of the tower, venturing out on their own to conquer the world. So this card is a card of reflection, conscious mental creation, comparison. This could be, the thinking or the establishment of a business, or just choosing a path to take. That's how I generally present it, because not everybody is looking to open up a business, but a lot of people are presented with paths to take in their life, and that's how I interpret this card. All right, let's jump into the Three of Wands. And three is my favorite number. The three itself is a number of creativity, and that is still the case here in this card. But what we also have for this card, we had Mars in Aries. Now we have, this is a card of the Sun in Aries, and that gives our young, little bit older emperor here more pride and confidence and optimism. It starts to give our Aries a bit of Leo qualities, right? And so the sun is symbolizing energy and enthusiasm and enlightenment. And this gives our young emperor here this ability to direct and control the events in their lives. At this point, our emperor here could have already made some decisions, business decisions, and is waiting for those ships to come in, waiting for those decisions to bear fruit. Or this could be, before that happens, this could be a card of expansion, I like to call it, thinking of creative ways with that three to expand their horizons, to expand their knowledge, their abilities, anything like that. And so we don't really see yet that our emperor has been fully tested and probably hasn't fully come into all of their divine power yet, but they are putting action and passion towards those movements, right? This is a step further than the two. And so now we're going to look at the four. So let's look at this Four of Wands card. We see a couple of young women celebrating possibly festivity. We see four wands. Now, for me, I typically read this card as hearth and home, and I think as a tarot reader, you should go with whatever you feel that you are drawn to within the realm of what the card stands for you. It is a card of marriage and partnerships, but I don't often see that in relationship to the other cards that it is next to. And because this is Venus in Aries, we all know Venus is the planet of love. Venus is also the ruler of Taurus. The reason why this is important is because Taurus is a fixed sign, it is very stable, and Taurus is all about home and comfort and stability that, love and partnership can bring. So that's why for me, the four is generally about home and stability and four walls, but you can read this as marriage and partnership as well. But if you think about it, those things kind of come into that home, home and hearth. So that's why, as a reader, I typically read this card as home and hearth, unless I see it with other cards of love that may say, oh, yes, there is a marriage coming in. Doesn't mean a marriage for everybody. So that's why this is my card of home and hearth, however you want to read it. Now, we do have two other cards that are related to the wands that we haven't talked about, and that is our page and our aces. Okay, so one of these is a court card, and pages are communication. They could just be younger people around you, someone who is really now just beginning on their journey. He is holding the Ace of Wands or staff here, whatever you want to call it. And so the pages don't correspond to any particular planet, or they correspond to all of the signs in their suit, just like the aces. That's why I have them here together. So this page embodies all of the characteristics of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That's crazy, isn't it? So there's so much unbridled potential here, fiery potential. And that's the same thing for the Ace of Wands. All the aces to me are seeds, they are potential energy. It is new beginnings, all of them. This particularly is the spiritual energy. Some people very crudely call this the manhood card. I don't even want to say it because it's just so, yeah, they call it that card. And that can be the case. You can have a passionate new relationship with someone. It could be that card, believe me. But, it just depends on how you read the card and what kind of reading you're doing. So, like I said, each one of these cards represents all of the suit for which they are assigned. And the Ace of Wands, it's really about that power of fire and spirituality, energy, drive, desire, enlightenment, burning passions, your primal drives, your most incredible, fervent desires. That is the Ace of Wands. It's quick, active, unattainable, spontaneous, impulsive, immediate. It's just an ember just radiating and waiting to go. So when an Ace of Wands pops up, it just tells me there is so much potential, spiritual drive, energy, passion for something new. It doesn't have to be romantic. It's just something that you feel very deeply for. And so I love seeing the Ace of Wands. Any of the aces are good, but it's energy that is either around you or within you. It's a tool you can use, because remember, the magician has all the aces at their disposal to help create and manifest their lives. So that is the cards for Aries. I hope this was helpful, and we're going to move on. We're going to do each of the zodiac signs just like this. So I encourage you to watch them all through, and it'll give you a greater understanding about tarot and about the zodiac and why I read the cards the way that I do. And, it kind of gives you just a little bit more knowledge and awareness of the I don't know. I want to say scientific. There's a lot of thought. Tarot cards have been around for hundreds of years, and I love the story of the tarot. There is a lot of knowledge and wisdom in the tarot for us, and it's amazing how much we can learn about ourselves and others. The reason why I decided to finally start putting these videos out is I've been reading my own tarot for golly, long time. I got my first tarot deck in the 90s, and I still have it. I don't use it on the channel. It's kind of special to me, but I still have it. And there were many times where I would be doing a tarot reading for myself, and I'm like, this reading is not for me. I would have a whole story come out, and I'm like, this is not my story. I'm like, whose story is this? And so after that happened many times, I decided, it's time for me to share these videos and see if it can actually potentially help someone, because I think that's why we turn to tarot, when we need answers, when we need confirmation and guidance. So that's why I am here. And please let me know in the comments if there is anything you would like to see either in the membership area or just on the regular channel. I would definitely love to see what people would like to know for the bonus readings that I do on Sunday. It does matter. And because I want to give you information that is going to be valid and usable for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. We are so close to hitting that 1,000 subs mark, and I want to say thank you to all of the subs that I've had before and all of the new subs coming in, whether you're here for my wild and wacky crafting videos or my tarot. You are very appreciated and you're very welcome here. And so I did say that if we hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to do another giveaway, and I am. I'm going to do 3 personal readings for 3 subscribers. How that's going to happen is once we hit that 1,000 subs mark, I will post another video, which you will need to subscribe already and leave a comment on. From that, I will choose 3 random winners for the personal tarot reading. So if you'd like a chance to get a personal tarot reading from moi, subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, all that good stuff, and you will have a chance to win. So do share with your friends so we can hit those subscriber goals faster. Okay, that's the only announcement I have for right now. So yeah, take care, and we'll see you next time.